The chemical dihydrogen monoxide is a chemical largely found in our drinking water, vaccines, and chlorine. Can you believe it? But what does dihydrogen monoxide even mean? Well, it's the chemical name for H2O, water. This is why a lot of these acronyms or scientific names shouldn't be scaring you, and why the term genetically modified organism or GMO should not scare you either, and why GMO should be sold. So, first off, what are GMOs? GMO stands for genetically modified organism. It's usually applied to plants that have been modified so that they're better suited for the agriculture or the environment around them. So, why should you even care? Well, you should care because these are the fruits and vegetables that are often going onto your dinner plate, power your car, if it's an ethanol gas, or that help evolve in the insects and animals around it. So, why GMOs should be sold? Contrary to popular belief, only 20% of GMOs are actually in our food supply. The other 80% often go to different agricultural byproducts. For example, according to the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, 89% of corn is GMO or genetically modified. But that 89% often goes to different, like cornstarch, corn syrup, or other corn byproducts. 98% of soybeans are genetically modified, and these are just made to help with better nutrition and for us. So, that is what GMOs are. But oftentimes, why do we even have to modify them? Well, they allow for different resistance to different pesticides and herbicides, different resistances to bugs and diseases that often will kill the crops that they're attached to. Before, in the late 90s and the early 2000s, there was a virus that affected the papaya, the rainbow papaya. This virus almost eradicated the rainbow papaya. But through genetic modification, we were able to save the papaya and make it resistant to this virus, allowing it to actually flourish and help improve the Hawaiian economy. Also, another reason why we might modify them are just for better nutrition. According to Hank Green on the SciShow on YouTube, we developed a type of rice called golden rice that offers better vitamin A to kids around the world who often have vitamin A deficiencies and allows them to lead healthier lives. So, another reason why we should believe and trust in GMOs is they've been around a lot longer than we think. The term GMO is a misnomer, but genetically modified can mean a selective breeding. To start off, we have the watermelon. On the left is a painting from the 1600s of how the original watermelon looked like. Only 15 to 20% of it was edible, as you can see in the picture, with having these small areas of red. Now, on the right side, we see that around 95% of the watermelon is now edible pulp. That is a huge difference, all done through GMO or selective breeding. Next, we have corn. And maize, originally found in Mesoamerica, only contained around 12 kernels. 12! Now, modern corn, that as we know it, has upwards of 500 kernels. That is a huge difference, and all because of just selectively breeding and modifying its genetics. So, who would I be if I didn't talk about the risks? Because, as with everything, there are oftentimes risks. Well, with a lot of these genetically modified plants that are resistant to herbicides and pesticides, often mean that the farmers are using more pesticides on their crops. This can lead to a huge loss in biodiversity and pollution. With biodiversity, it means that they can kill a lot of the plants that were already there before. An example of this is the milkweed. The milkweed is the main source of nutrition for the monarch butterfly. And because of the increased use of pesticides and herbicides that we have now, due to these genetically modified plants, oftentimes mean that now the milkweed is just gone, and we've seen a huge drop in what we have a monarch butterfly population. Second of all, pollution. When farmers use these herbicides and pesticides, they can leach into the soil and oftentimes bring these chemicals into the rivers. And as we all know, rivers lead into the ocean. In the Gulf of Mexico now, we have seen that it has killed a lot of the seaweed and the fish inside it. Farmers and fishers have to now go further and further out just to find fish that are edible in the Gulf of Mexico. That is a dangerous loss of biodiversity just because of the pollution that we have now, because of these. But that isn't the only reason, that shouldn't be a reason why we stop genetically modifying plants. Oftentimes, we can, instead of modifying the plants to be resistant to glyphosate, which is the chemical used in pesticides most of the time, we can have them now be resistant to the bugs and animals that are trying to kill these plants. And that seems like a good alternative than just to stop using genetically modified plants that are offering better nutrition and helping our economy. So, what to do now? Honestly, I just want you to be informed and help others who are misinformed about this topic. Anytime you hear someone around you that often talks about saying no to GMO, just tell them genetically modified organism is shouldn't be something you'd be afraid of. GMOs are there to help people around the world and to help our crops and our sustainability. Without GMOs, we would not be able to produce a lot of these crops that we have for agricultural products. Without these GMOs, a lot of our products and our crops would be gone so much faster. So just know, next time somebody tells you say no to GMO, remember, inform them about the topic. That's all we can really ask for. Here, I have my credits. And thank you. That's all I can really ask. Thank you.